Working on a couple things this morning. First things first is I need to shoot my new gun. I haven't really wanted to switch to the macro, but I kind of did, so here I am. Still got my shadow on. It's still my baby, but we'll see how this goes. So need a little trigger time behind the gun in any case, but I'm going to be working on specifically building my grip and tightening my support hand as I drive the gun out. Really working on presentation with this gun because it's a new gun to me. It's definitely different than a Glock. The grip angle is different, so the way that I naturally present it is different. So I really got to work on that. So I'm going to do that a couple times. I believe I just put a mag in level 10. Pro tip, guys, if you don't want to load up your mags to full because I don't know, your fingers hurt or whatever, that's okay. I usually just do like mag to 10 or 15 or 5, whatever makes sense. Just throw some rounds in there and start shooting your gun. So we'll just pop off a couple shots here and see how it looks. Relax your shoulders. So you might have noticed something on that first shot, which is one of the things I'm going to be working on today, is my follow through. I started off as a slow fire bullseye shooter, really wanting to drill out the center of every target, stacking holes on top of holes, and for that reason I have a tendency to exaggerate my recoil, especially after my first shot. So what I'll do is I'll pin my trigger, and after I take that shot, the muzzle just kind of stays up after that. I don't want that. That's not efficient, and I need to have good follow through to get the muzzle back on target. I need to establish a good enough grip to where after that shot, I'm immediately ready for the second shot. So that's exactly what I'm working on today, and I already saw the issue after very first shot. So that's what we're gonna work on. All right. Tightening my pinky as I drive the gun forward. I flinched on that one a little bit, really in my head thinking about the follow through. That's okay, take another shot. Much better. I drove the gun out, tightened my grip, took a shot, immediately prepped my trigger and prepared for the next shot. Them shoulders down. A little bit of exaggerated follow through there. Good shot. Shoulders were down, but still need to work on that follow through. Tightening my pinky as yeah, that was nice. All right. Shoulders. Be natural. Be comfortable. Presentation was a little off. That's okay. I found it. Okay, next mag. Let me just show you my target real quick. So, as you can see, I'm still, doing my bullseye shooting. I'm going nice and slow right now, just really working on tightening my left hand grip. You see those couple shots I pulled a little bit low. Right now, because I'm going slow, I set my standard to be that smaller white circle there in the middle. I'm at 5 yards. So I'm really working on paying attention to all the mechanics as I drive the gun out. So that's my standard right there. So I pulled a couple. I recognized what that was, my hand tightening on my gun as I pulled the trigger. So I'm just gonna learn from that and keep moving on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to do a little target transition. So I'm gonna go over to that left circle there on the left side of the faces, and then immediately drive the gun to the right circle and just prep the trigger. So I'm gonna take a shot on one and immediately move to the other one with just a prepped trigger to force myself to do that follow through. So this time I'll leave the camera out there. Hopefully I can set it up here where you guys can see it. Hopefully the concussion doesn't knock my phone over. We'll see. All right. little bit sooner that time. I'm getting more comfortable, making sure my left pinky is tight, driving the gun out, seeing the dot, taking the shot, move to the next target, prep my trigger. I'm gonna go to the chest and move up to the right circle. So just so you can see it again from another angle, driving the gun out, shot, immediately moving to the next target and prepping my trigger. Forcing myself to have that good follow through, forcing myself to think about the next shot, forcing myself to have a good grip to ensure that my gun returns right back to where that it needed to after I took the shot. Your grip is so important. Your presentation is extremely important, especially if you're shooting with a red dot. You want the dot to appear as soon as you drive the gun out. And I'm also seeing myself, I'm shrugging my shoulders a lot, and I'm bringing my gun up to my eyesight by moving on multiple axes, and I don't need to do that. So I need to remain comfortable, drive the gun out, and trust the technique and just my grip to tighten with my supporting end as I drive the gun out and rely on my grip to do all the work. I shouldn't need to shrug my shoulders and bring myself into this weird, abnormal, outside of our normal tendency body mechanics, and try to do everything naturally. So keep my shoulders down. It's tough. I try to keep my shoulders down. I try to put myself in camera here. Keep my shoulders down, drive gun straight out. I exaggerated the recoil on that one. So another thing just for me to think about. The more that you incorporate things that you got to work on and think about, it's tough to remember all of them at once. So whenever you're training, just try to work on maybe one or two things at a time so you're not like in chaos mode in your head. So today I'm just working on grip and follow through. Present, tighten with my left hand pinky here. As I do that, as my left hand tightens, as I drive the gun out, my muzzle is going to present itself pretty naturally to where my dot comes from the top every time. As I present the gun out and I tighten with this pinky, my muzzle drops down a little bit and I see my dot appear from the 12 o'clock. Shoulders down, drive forward, tighten pinky. Shot, exaggerated that recoil again. Woo, that's a tough one to break. Gotta stop doing that. That was better. Okay, I'm gonna try to press the trigger a little bit sooner this time as I'm driving the gun out, really focusing on my left hand, but I'm gonna trust my presentation a little bit more. If I pull it outside my acceptable standard, that's okay. I'm working on it. I need to learn from it, keep going. But I'm changing my standard to be basically the whole, basically anywhere in what you see as the torso. Obviously the center section is much smaller there. So I'm gonna stay within the blue, not go outside the blue. So that's setting my standard, which is super important. You gotta set your standard first, because if you don't know what you're shooting for and you take the shot, how are you measuring whether you did good or bad? And our brains naturally just wanna put things in the middle. So if you don't set a standard for yourself and you don't hit the tiniest thing in the middle, you're gonna start beating yourself up, and it's that telling yourself you did something wrong without knowing why you did it wrong or how to measure it against something will not promote growth. So you gotta set yourself a standard, obviously strive for the standard, but when you don't meet the standard, ask yourself why and problem solve. It's not a moment to beat yourself up. It's a moment to grow. So those things are good. You got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone to have those oops moments in training, so that way you can recognize where you're starting to fall apart. It's okay. It's okay. I could have done better. shoulders. Little exaggerated recoil in the second shot that time. That was off to the right a little bit. Maybe I was tightening my left hand too much as I was driving the gun out. Just kind of look at your dot as you drive. Ooh, that's another thing. I need to learn to just kind of have a soft focus and just allow my dot to appear on my target rather than being so focused on looking through my window. I just need to remain focused at the target, drive the gun out, and just let the dot appear. Woo! Trusted the second shot that time. It was awesome. Awesome. Turn the camera around. Okay, drive the gun out. Tighten that left pinky. Prepare for the second shot. Good follow through. I don't hold myself as accountable whenever I don't have the camera facing me. Flinched a little bit on the second one. I still made it in there, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I felt it though. All in all, I spent 10 minutes. I'm at 12 minutes on the camera here, I guess. So 10 to 15 minutes putting 50 rounds on paper. I'm happy with my target, but I feel like I gotta push myself a little bit more. Truthfully, I'm putting this on the internet later, so there's definitely my ego that's involved here. And that's really important to know about training, especially when you have peers watching you. It's hard to do things that someone's going to be judging you for, and it is what it is. It's something I'm still working on myself, but this is my first shooting video that I'm going to post on, I guess where we're doing like somewhat of a little teaching thing here, but I don't know, I just wanted to share that with you guys and see if you could take some drills from this or just little things to work on for yourself. I also wanted you to see that, I'm a human too, and I'm a okay shooter, but I never stop trying to get better. So just don't stop. Come in and shoot, and have purposeful practice on the range. Don't just stay in here and just shoot at a target. There's nothing really wrong with that either. There's a sense of inoculation that you can get from just pulling the trigger and hearing the gun go bang, especially depending on where you're at in your shooting journey. But if you can have something to practice, something to work on the range, that will definitely help your growth. You'll get there a lot faster. So reach out if you got any questions. I can't wait to see you guys.